The reason Green chose this small mountain was because, firstly, it was cheaper here. It was only 100 gold coins to buy the manor and the hill it was on. Secondly, it was close to Casa City. Even with an ordinary carriage, it would take just 2 days to get to the city. A round trip of 4 days to deliver the radishes and back was entirely feasible. And third, it was very remote. Under normal circumstances, no one would notice them. In the hills near Casa City, almost every estate had some kind of aristocratic manor that acted as a holiday resort. It was one of several sources of income for those estates. Buying an estate for this reason was very normal, so no one would pay attention to them. After Green bought the manor, he immediately went into Casa City to try to find out information. He wanted to know what kind of attitude the Purcell clan had towards the sudden appearance of the Black Midge. More importantly, he wanted to find out the prices in the city. Right now their money was running out, leaving them with less than 50 gold coins. And if they wanted to sell their radishes, they had to wait until Laura came back. 50 gold coins, although it was a lot for ordinary commoners, for them it was too little. Everything costs a lot in a big city like Casa. He feared that 50 gold coins won't support them for long. Zhao had been moving slowly on the road. What should have taken 7 days had taken them a full 10 days to get to Casa City. When he finally made it, he didn't go directly into Casa City, and decided to spend the night outside of it. That was because it was already dark when they got there. Others believed that Zhao was staying outside the city because it was dark, but in fact he was waiting for Green to come back and tell him what he had arranged and what was the situation in Casa City. At midnight, Green dove into the Undead, followed by a hole opening up, allowing Green to enter the space. Outsiders simply didn't notice this. The space did not belong in their category of magic. Without feeling any magic fluctuations, the ones that were monitoring Zhao didn't discover anything. Once Green came to see them, Zhao immediately greeted him, then asked, "Grandpa Green, how is it?" Green smiled. "Rest assured, Master. The arrangements have been made. I bought a small estate outside the city. We can stay there until Laura comes back, then we could make a deal with her." Zhao was relieved. "That's good. Once we settle in the estate, I also want to go look around Casa City." "Yes, we should go see Casa City." Green nodded. "These days, I found that the Purcell clan seemed very attached to our clan. But now that the Black Midge has sprung up, they're now directing their attention at us, so we should make an appearance." Green sounded like he was making a contradiction, but Marin and everyone else understood what he meant. They weren't afraid that the people would check out the identity of the Black Midge that had suddenly appeared, they were afraid of those that would find out their identity as the Buda clan. So Green wanted Zhao, the Black Midge, to make an appearance in front of these people to get their attention. Zhao nodded. "Good, I want to see the way they treat me. But there's one thing I'm worried about, the man behind Drunk and the other undead Black Midges. It has been 10 days since I put Drunk and the rest inside my space, so it's been that long since they have not made contact with that organization. Do you think that organization will doubt our identity?" "That's not very likely," Green said. "We don't need to be afraid of them. Instead, it might be better this way if they come to us. As long as they come, we can find some clues about them." "So much the better," Zhao said. "Tomorrow, we will go to the estate where we will settle, then we will go to Casa City." Green nodded, but there was a pained look on his face. "Master, even if we go into Casa City, we still can't buy anything. Right now we only have 50 gold coins. This amount of money is really not enough for us to use. they really couldn't do anything with 50 gold coins. He feared that they couldn't even buy the most ordinary oil press, let alone anything else. Fortunately, Green had already bought a lot of food and supplies before, so within this short time, they would at least not go hungry. Zhao shook his head. We don't have to buy anything, we can just go look around the city. Plus we have to let those people know that we are coming. Green laughed. Well, when we get to the city, I want to see how those people will react when they take a look at us. Zhao smiled, but he didn't say anything. He knew that recently Green had felt stuck when the Buda clan was nearly destroyed. In order to keep Adam's life, he had to bow to those big nobles, which was clearly out of line with Green's character. Then he became overwhelmed by the pressure of the daily life in the Black Waste. But it wasn't the same now. Although they had another identity, now that they could go out into the world and take action, it gave birth to a new feeling in Green. With their current status, they weren't affected by whether the people welcomed them or not. At least in this capacity, they could now walk outside and not be afraid of those old nobles who were against them. A person who had never seen the light, but then one day he was finally able to see the light. It was useless to try to describe this feeling with words. Green, of course, knew that even though their true identity was the Buda clan, he also knew that they had to put on a performance. After all, to not be suspected, sometimes you had to act high profile to make a good cover. Acting high profile, Green was naturally looking forward to it. But Mirin was frowning. Master, if we act too high profiled, would this affect us in the future? Once we sold the radishes and bought some machines, we would then go back to the Black Waste. So when we go back, wouldn't the eyes of those guys be on us? Green smiled slightly. Do not worry about such things yet. When we get to Montenegro Fortress, we can go into the woods and hide there inside the space for a few days. So even if they turn all those mountains over, they will not find us. Then Master could get drunk to lead the undead into the Black Waste to cause trouble. I don't believe that those who are afraid of the undead will be able to find our castle. This will ensure that there will be no problem. Mirin and Zhao felt that this way was good. Right now Zhao had a lot of undead, but they didn't have a lot of intelligence. After all, it really wasn't like Zhao could talk with them. The undead just listened to his commands. They were just like robots. Whatever Zhao ordered them to do, they would do it. But they couldn't speak. Drunk and the undead black midges were different. Not only were they humanoid undead, they were also advanced undead. They had almost the same intelligence as when they were alive. They could easily communicate with Zhao, so he can make them lead the undead into the Black Waste, so outsiders wouldn't be able to easily enter. People in the continent may not be necessarily afraid of the Black Waste, but they were definitely afraid of the Carrion Swamp. And now there will be a lot of undead spirit beasts from that swamp running around, so no one would dare touch the Black Waste. Of course, if anyone really did want to go see the castle, Zhao didn't mind letting Drunk and the rest of the undead black midges, with each being at the 6th level, take care of them. Their strength, along with more than 1,000 undead, was more than enough.